Hello everyone, and welcome to our lesson on the vocabulary terms from Unit 6. We shall begin. Here are the terms. Let me see if I can erase that. Okay, good. I'll probably just go in order. That might be the easiest thing. In order to get the mixed bag of people in medieval times in England, Chaucer needed an idea that would cohere people from different walks of life. How could he get them to stick together? How could he get a group of people like a prioress to be in the same situation with a reeve or a miller? How can we get them to form a whole? Well, we'll go on a pilgrimage. That's one way to do it. And if you've ever heard the expression to coin new words, for example, based on authors, like something being Kafkaesque, it means to coin or to invent a new word based on the way in which somebody has been as a writer to stamp into existence. When you're out there in the world and you're trying to secure a loan, you might need collateral. Collateral is security for a loan. Your parents might sign their names as collateral. You might put up your car as collateral or something that you own, security for a loan. When two people get together and they sort of conspire in fraud, they could be said to be guilty of collusion. Those are both nouns. Collusion is conspiring in a fraudulent way. For example, Sinon, the Greek spy, is in collusion with the other Greeks to try to pretend that this horse has been given as a gift, or it should be a gift for the people of Troy. When someone is comely, they are attractive, and that's what the goddesses are fighting over in the legend of the apple, right? The judgment of Paris. Who is going to get the apple that's inscribed to the fairest, to the most comely, to the most agreeable and attractive? When you're out buying a new car, you may be looking for one that has a commodious trunk, one that is very spacious and roomy, or maybe you're looking at dorm rooms that are commodious, that are full of space, not just cramped quarters. Or when we could actually say when something is compact. When something is compact, it's kind of constricted. Or I could say as a noun, a compact is an agreement, a covenant, a pact. Remember, Hector wants to have a compact, an agreement with Achilles before they fight about returning the body. It's a very compelling scene, right? Wouldn't you agree? It's a very engaging, very forceful scene when the two heroes come face to face. And so is the scene with Priam and Achilles himself. If you're looking to compile a lot of information, you're looking to collect it. To collect it, to assemble it. Remember, Helen is the face that launched 1,000 ships. 1,000 ships were compiled on her behalf to try to get her back from Paris when she was stolen from Menelaus. There are many different heroes who contend against one another during the course of the Iliad, to fight, to compete, to argue. Remember, the quarrel at the beginning in Book 1 is actually between two people on the same side. They're in contention with one another. They're in a dispute with one another. They're in the middle of strife. And of course, I'm talking about Agamemnon and Achilles. They're, oh my goodness, look, another word that they all deal with the same kind of thing. Some people may say that Agamemnon is a quarrelsome kind of person. He's relatively contentious. He's always looking to start a fight. Even Athena gets contentious when her father suggests helping Hector and preventing Hector from dying. To contest with someone is to fight, again, to contend, to dispute. You could say that Achilles contests the leadership of Agamemnon. He doesn't really believe that it's a good one. When things contract as a verb, we know that you want your pores to contract, you want them to be smaller, so that there are no blemishes and things, to shrink. You know, if something contracts in water, it's going to shrink like a piece of fabric. Or we could have a contract, change the accent, and that's an agreement. There will be no contracts between lion and men, or wolves and lambs, as Achilles says to Hector. Sometimes when you feel like an ending to a story is deliberately created, you could say, oh, I skipped contrived. Let me just do this one. You could say that it's somewhat contrived. It means deliberately created rather than naturally happening. I could think of a story from sophomore year where the ending seems kind of contrived. For example, the character has survived all these ordeals, and then at the end, out of nowhere, General LaSalle appears to save him. It just seems kind of contrived. Of course, I'm talking about The Pit and the Pendulum. We know as children, we probably studied the act of contrition. To be contrite is to be sorry. Remorseful, to be remorseful. To show remorse. And if you're conversant in many different topics, it means that you are familiar with many different topics. You could have conversations about lots of different things. Anyone conversant with Greek culture would know that burial of the body is very, very important. And to converse is actually to speak, to engage in dialogue, right? Okay, cruising along. And now we have our last group of words. As a verb, to convert to a new religion is to change, right? As a noun, a convert is a person who changes his beliefs. If you have no qualms about taking any form of conveyance, a conveyance is a vehicle or a method of transfer. For example, I think Priam takes a wagon with him as his conveyance. That's the method of conveyance for Hector's body. If you find that you're taking copious notes on the Iliad, trying to keep straight which goddess is on which side, we're basically saying you're taking abundant or plentiful notes. By the time you get to the end of the Iliad in Book 24, the relationship between Priam and Achilles actually appears to be somewhat cordial, even though they're both enemies, somewhat friendly, somewhat agreeable or affable. And the word corollary, it's one of those things that's hard to put into words, but basically a corollary is something that naturally follows. Something that naturally follows. For example, let's say that love is a strong passion and jealousy is often its corollary. And lastly, a coronation is the ceremony for crowning a king or a queen. The ceremony of crowning a sovereign. And remember, in Macbeth, some characters do not attend the coronation of Macbeth. Okay, there you have it. Good luck.